Hey guys, so welcome to my channel. So today I want to do, it's kind of a different video. Once again, it's summertime, we're in wedding season, and I wanted to maybe talk a little bit about my wedding day regrets. And I don't want to talk about them as in like I'm really upset about them. These are just maybe things that I wish that we'd have done a little differently. So our anniversary is in June, and we have been married this year 13 years. So it's crazy. I got married really young, and if you want to look on my channel, I have a video about how I survived being married young. And I kind of wanted to talk about it. And I kind of want to talk about some of my like wedding day regrets. And the reason why I want to talk about this is maybe if you're getting married, thinking about getting married, some things that you can just be aware of, like 13 years later, won't matter. So the first thing that I would say I regret the most is probably the photography. So this will kind of go with a point that I'll make later down. But when we first got married, like, we were pretty broke. I had a little bit of money from my family to give in to plan a wedding. And of course, I wanted a big fairy tale wedding. We actually got married at a palace in, and it was like a venue place. And basically the majority of our money went towards the venue price because, you know, that's just what it happens. So I had my husband's aunt did photography, and she had done, I think she had done another person's wedding, and so we thought, okay, great, we'll have her do it. She said she'd do it for free as a gift, and I think it all boils down to you get what you pay for. Now, the pictures are great. I have some pictures that I really like, but overall, the biggest, I guess, regret that I have is that she wasn't very assertive, so I feel like we weren't able to do a lot of the, like, posed husband and wife pictures that we really wanted to. We did do, my mom kind of jumped in at the point, and she kind of helped. We did do, like, you know, all the families, me and his family, you know, and him and all my family, and then we had like everybody. But I feel like I really wish that we'd have done some more like just Isaac and I pictures. So anyway, but overall, you know, we ended up actually the next year, I found a really pretty dress, and we ended up going and getting like couples pictures taken at the same venue that we got married at, and that kind of made me feel a bit better. But to be honest, like that basically you know, my wedding day pictures kind of like that moment was lost, I guess I should say, and I wasn't able to get it back. So my second regret is I had 6 bridesmaids and we had 6 groomsmen, and part of the reason why we had so many is because we wanted to make everybody happy. Like I said before, whenever I got engaged, we had a lot of friends that were like upset with us. They didn't think that we would last. They didn't agree with us getting married so young. But so I tried to be like the most agreeable bride ever because I was afraid that I would basically lose them. And I wish that I was a little bit more confident. I'll talk about that later. But I wish that we'd only had maybe 2 or 3 bridesmaids. The thing is, trying to coordinate so many bridesmaids. I mean, I had a friend who had like 12 bridesmaids, and I'm thinking, like, it took hours for them to get their pictures done because there's just so many people to work with. And then when they finally, you know, did the ceremony and stuff, it was like there was just like a huge long line on both sides, and it was almost kind of distracting that there were so many people. So I would say go with your closest people that'll be there. The other thing I'll say, because I'd say 2 of the bridesmaids that I had at my wedding, I don't even talk to anymore. I mean, they're moved on with their lives, you know, whether good, bad, or indifferent, and we just don't get together anymore, and I guess it kind of makes me a little bit sad. So I would say overall, like, don't worry about having like everybody in your wedding. Do what you want to do. So number 3, and this is another one, I wanted a big wedding, so I invited everyone I can think of, and to be honest, I wish that I'd have been a little bit pickier with who I invited. Now, overall, I didn't have any crazy drama at my wedding that some people had. All my drama that I had was all before the wedding. But basically, I remember we had about 250, huge wedding. But I would say that right after the ceremony, and as people were like grabbing a couple, we did a dessert reception, as people were grabbing a couple like snacks, whatever, like I'd say like probably 75% of the people just left. Like, I don't really feel like they were there for me. They were just there to go to a wedding and take some cute pictures and be like, look, we went to so-and-so's wedding. So if I had really been more careful about who I picked, I probably would have just picked really close friends and family. And I think it all boils down to, don't worry about oh, I have to invite so-and-so because so-and-so and so-and-so. Just don't worry about it. Invite who you want to invite, and who cares? I mean, if you haven't talked to this aunt or uncle or cousin in like 3 years, why bother inviting them to your wedding? You want people there, that are happy for you and that are there for you. Because that was part of it too. I felt like people were there just to say they were there, but they weren't happy for me at all. So I would say, this goes along with having less guests. So because we had so many guests, I ended up just doing a dessert reception, and we were starving by the end of it because, you know, we had to be there at like, I mean, our wedding was at 7 p.m. We had to be there by like 2 or 3 p.m. because we had to get there and get things set up. And I just feel like if we had less people, we could have served like an actual meal and not, you know, blown the budget, for lack of better words. So, and we would have actually had something to eat, because I felt like the whole time I was running around and trying to make everyone happy, and in some ways I wish I was a little bit more confident. Which leads me to number 5. So, stood up more about what I wanted and been a little bit more confident, even if people complain that you are a bridezilla. Number 1, obviously a bridezilla is somebody who is demanding and rude and throws temper tantrums and is not somebody that you would want to be around. But that does not mean that if a woman says, hey, I want X, Y, and Z at my wedding, hey, I don't want to do X, Y, and Z, that doesn't necessarily make them a bridezilla. And I was so afraid that I was going to lose these people's approval, which now that I'm, you know, 13 years post-marriage, I'm like, that was such a dumb fear, because it doesn't matter. People are going to think what they think, and you can take it or leave it. People, you know, people are people, and you can't make them stop being people. So I wish I was a little bit more confident in my decisions. I wish that I stood up a little bit more about things that were going on, about people that were just, I felt like, not really honoring what I wanted with my wedding and just trying to either take over things that I didn't want them to, or just acting, in my opinion, not appropriately. So that last thing that I would say is stress less. You don't need to be stressed out about it. At the end of the day, you're marrying the love of your life, and God willing, you will have a great, long, happy life together. Don't sweat all the little things. It's not worth getting stressed out about. It's not worth, you know, ruining your wedding over. Overall, I have amazing memories from my wedding, and I'm so grateful that we got married where we did, when we did. Everything was just perfect in so many ways. There's just a few things that I wish I could have changed, and I guess I wanted to give somebody else a heads up. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that was helpful for some of you out there. And I really hope you enjoy this. Please just give me a thumbs up. And thank you guys. I will see you guys next time.